Well, good morning, everybody. It is 7:15. Have you had your morning coffee? I have, about 4 o'clock this morning. Not because I wanted to be up that early, because my house was freezing cold and I had to figure out what's going on. But today we are recording in a different location than normal, which is fantastic, as we are not getting attacked by bees or spiders.
At my house.
And we're not worried that one of them will sting us. So we are talking about today, as it is the new year, it's 2020. You set goals. We can talk about goals and fitness and stuff
by the time we post this podcast, it might be almost March.
Probably, but who knows?
Still,
I'm in control of that, so I could post this Monday.
Yeah, but you shouldn't do that because, it makes the most sense to post the one that we did first this morning about a recap.
I know.
Like what we've been doing over the past 3 months.
So much power I have. It's just, yeah, I'll probably wait.
But actually, that's not a bad thing because we are going to talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions. And by this time of the year, so what is it? It's February 15th right now?
Yep, just the day after Valentine's Day.
By this time, most people have already long given up on their New Year's resolutions. And I was reading something recently about how it's actually, for one reason or another, and I guess we could talk about why, but it's much more effective to do your resolutions in February as opposed to January. Did you make any resolutions this year?
No.
Do you do that?
No, this is stupid.
Why?
I don't do resolutions because I think that's dumb.
Why though?
Dumb word to use. I have goals to achieve this year.
Okay, so what are your goals, and are they specific and measurable and all that smart stuff?
No, one's like more positive mindset, one's being patient, and the other one's healthy lifestyle. And then I got to figure out how to make $1 million this year. Not really. It's got to make up some money.
Well, yeah. But, you probably should have, like, a target.
I have a target in my mind.
Right. And then you break it down into months.
I got to make $1,000 a month. I already know.
You have to make an extra
grand a month.
An extra grand a month. Okay, I was going to say, how are you going to live on $1,000 a month?
Oh, I can do it. Cardboard box. It's all right. Live at your house.
With the bees.
I don't care. Hey, if it's free rent, it's free rent.
We do have a lot of rooms in our house.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
But my husband and I are using up 2 of them.
Oh, shit. But yeah, I do have goals for this year. I usually set them at the beginning of the year or close to that point. It doesn't have to necessarily be, January 1, I'm going to start, doing whatever. Usually when it comes to me, I write them down. But like last year, my goal was to make $50,000. I exceeded that quite a bit.
Awesome.
Well, I surprised myself. I was like, oh my gosh, that's actually way more than I expected. But, this year I'm at a different place, at a different job, so it's going to change. The commission structure is a little different. But doesn't mean I can't hustle on the weekends, do a podcast, do the eBay flipping, like kind of talk to you. One guy actually messaged me on Facebook of someone I went to school. He's like, dude, what's going on? Looks like you're like selling all your possessions. It makes you look like it makes you look like a crackhead. I'm just like, well, I'm not a crackhead. I'm just trying to like make extra money. He's like, oh, okay, I get you. My dad does the same thing. I'm like, I don't really care what people think, to be honest.
That's good.
Because when, if I become, the next big thing, which if it happens, great or not, and they want me a job, I'm telling them no. Because you suck.
All right, then.
I thought I was a crackhead, so.
Right.
No,
right.
But I mean, yeah.
So be nice to TJ.
It's good to have. Well, I don't talk to anybody from high school.
Yeah, maybe a couple people for me.
I mean, I think a lot of the people that, you grow up and stuff, and people that I know are starting their businesses and stuff. Like Katie's, I don't know, like Wiener something or food cart catering business. I don't know what she's doing, but she's she's doing like a catering food cart type business, and she goes like to other businesses and sets it up and does stuff. She's doing really well at it. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's just inspiring to know, like, oh yeah, I didn't. And she probably didn't envision that when she was in high school. I didn't envision being where I
Right.
was. But I mean, just having that drive to do that, and then finding something you like to do is
Yes.
just that's the hardest thing, I think. So
It really is. No, I know a lot of business owners in the area, and I'm constantly inspired by them and how well they do and the work that they put in, but also the fact that, they don't necessarily feel like they're always working. You know what I'm saying? Because
you enjoy it.
Yes.
Like I work at work, and then I come home and I do the eBay flipping that I just started like a week or so ago, and I like that. I enjoy that because it's super easy.
Is that what it's called? eBay flipping?
Well, it's called flipping.
Okay.
I mean, basically.
And so you're going to like auctions and finding stuff.
Yeah,
getting stuff
my brother-in-law is ridiculously good at it right now.
Okay.
I mean, he gets like stupid lucky. I don't know. He bought like a box of like these old car thermometers or speedometers from like the 50s or something, and for like $25, this box of them. Let's say there's 20 of them. He would sell each one for like $25 to $50.
Wow.
So I mean, just do the math. You're making a crap ton of money,
Yeah.
and you really didn't have to do a whole lot. You just do the I mean, if you don't do the research prior to, that's your own fault.
Yeah.
Because you should be doing that, or should have some know-how. Like I know certain things about some stuff, but I'm not like versed in a lot. But I enjoy like, oh hey, I can figure out how. Okay, I bought this for this much because I'm talking to somebody on Facebook and they're just trying to get rid of it. Well, I can go on eBay and sell it for this much, So
Right.
I think it's more of a hobby, I think, than anything, because that's one thing I don't have is a hobby besides playing video games, which that's not really productive. So
Yeah, you're probably not making any money doing that.
really, thanks, Kelly. Or if I'm not making any money, I'm spending money to buy more games.
Right.
I think it'll be. I think I'll get back. I'll play video games sometimes, but just when Levi gets old enough, we can play together. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
gonna be awesome. We're gonna have so much fun doing that. But yeah, that's the goal. And my goal is to make extra $1,000 a month just to kind of replace Johanna's income that she was bringing in last year. And then if I exceed that, great. And it's just trying to figure out and get through the waters and figure out what works and what doesn't work. So, and I'm all data driven, which is weird.
I think that's a good thing. See, I'm not data driven, and that I think that kind of sometimes shoots me in the foot when it comes to actually achieving goals, because I never set like a solid, like, okay, this is what I need to, for the first time ever with this sauna business that I'm trying to start.
Right.
For the first time ever, I sat down and I went through the numbers of like, okay, this is what the business has the potential to make. And this, like obviously that would be like upper end potential for the business.
Sure. And then what's like your break even point, right?
And I came up with a break even, and then I came up with a number of what I would, just starting out, what I'd like to make, after expenses are paid.
The first year or whatever.
Yes, first year. And in each month, like I broke it down by month, because when you look at that big number, like what you would like to make by the end of the year, that's really overwhelming. And I think sometimes what happens is when somebody comes up with a number and they're looking at that big number that they have to achieve by the end of the year, it's really easy to procrastinate on actually making it happen until you get until the last like few months of the year. And somebody wrote a book about this. I think it's called 12-Week Year or something like that.
I couldn't tell you.
It's a business book, and I haven't read it myself, but I've heard good things. I think that's what it's called. Or maybe it's not that way. But anyway, most people will panic the last several months of the year because they're not even close to reaching this goal. And then all of a sudden, within 3 months, they've got to reach this goal.
Right, yeah.
And so they do all the work in that 3 months. And it's like, well, maybe you should if you knew if you set those goals monthly of like, okay, if I want to make $50,000 in my business this year, this is what I have to make in January, February, March, and even breaking it down by week. Okay, so this is what I have to make in week 1, and that helps you. That helps you know, like, okay, how many clients do I need?
Right.
To
well, yeah,
make,
Rich was talking about that when we went to
yes,
school. It's like if you want 20 clients, how many phone calls and what's your hit rate? Say it's 10% on 20, or let's say 10% on 100 calls, 10 clients.
right,
It's probably not going to be 10%. I think that's pretty high.
right,
But if it's 1%, you got to have an idea as to what that goal is. I mean, when I was working at my other job, I had a goal of like $2.5 million to bring in the company that past that year, or close to that, or 2 million. I can't remember the number, but I didn't even break it out by month.
right.
I didn't do that. I literally just grinded and just got it done and figured it out. So, I mean, some things you can do it that way. Other things you cannot. You definitely have to have a strategic plan, especially in the business I'm in now. We definitely have to have a strategy, because our strategy is 10,000 tons by the end of the year.
Right.
So, it equates to, I don't know how much money, but you have to figure out how many jobs or construction projects do I need to win,
Right.
and how many tons each month do I need to win? And we have a number. We know what that is. And I'm on the warehouse side, and I told him my goal is 3 million for him, so I would double his sales
Nice.
for that. And already we're tracking pretty good right now. But I gotta get a couple people on board with some things. But you definitely have to have a SMART goal, as it's called.
Yeah.
To figure all that out.
What are the SMART goals? It's the S stands for specific. The M is measurable, right?
Yeah.
What is A?
Actionable? Attainable?
Attainable.
I think. I don't remember. Realistic and timely.
Realistic and timely.
I don't remember the A. A could be attainable. A could be. I don't remember what A is.
It's either actionable or attainable, and I don't know. Attainable means more to me than actionable.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to do that with weight loss, or working with clients and stuff.
This podcast is a lot about, it's about motivation. So you could use a lot of the tips that we talk about for, like business motivation or
right.
making money. But a lot of those carry over really well into the realm of health and weight loss, because if you have 50 pounds to lose, that's a big goal. And it's really hard to look at that and and be consistently motivated by like, oh, I need to lose 50 pounds. And it can be a scary thing it's overwhelming.
Yeah,
to get there.
Yeah, big numbers are always overwhelming.
So if you want to
I think it also depends on what kind of personality you have too.
It does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
I mean, if you're type A, B, or C, then, like a C personality is going to see that and just shut down. They're not going to figure it. They can't figure it out. A personality issues, they're just like, oh, that's what it is?
Right.
My goal is to exceed that, so.
Right. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it really just comes down to the person, but it's definitely good to have an idea as to how that breaks down within the year. Obviously, I can't measure my positive mindset within a year. If I start acting shitty, then obviously I'm not going in the right direction. I'm trying to like break stuff.
If by the end of the year you've gotten fired and gotten a divorce, and then your attitude might need adjusting.
It's funny because I read this, I read and listened to. Jocko Willenick, he's just a ex-Navy SEAL, and he talks about like extreme ownership and just owning certain things and whatever, And so I'll have a argument with Johanna, and I'm like, I'm in the wrong, obviously, because I just did something stupid, and then I'm like at the end of like, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm dumb, I shouldn't have said this, and then she gets upset because I'm like, no, it's not, you're fine. I just need to own, that situation. But, Yeah, it's just a totally different mindset or approach you have to take on everything. So it's weird. It's not weird. It's not like weird in a bad way. It's a good thing. Because I mean, if you're constantly just pushing things off and everything is somebody else's fault. I mean, nothing's really gonna get resolved, anyways.
Right. Actually, I have a little story about that. So, sort of a little story, but so my daughter the other day, we're waiting on the bus, and she I could tell she was like thinking about something, and I'm like, what's up? What's going on? She starts telling me about this report that she has due in one of her classes for one of her teachers. And she's starting to get upset, and she said, it's due today. And I'm like, well, do you have to like get up in front of the room? It's a report about recycling. She had to write 4 or 5 paragraphs or something about recycling.
Okay.
And I guess she maybe has to get up in front of the class. And I mean, she's 9 years old. It's really hard to know what's actually happening, because they make stuff up in their head. So I said, well, how long have you had to do this report? And she said, 2 weeks or so. And I said, and why is it not done? And she starts going off on this tirade about how the teacher this, and I didn't, the teacher didn't explain it the right way to me. And the teacher, I didn't really know. And I was like, whoa, baby girl. I was like, you cannot blame other people for your mistakes.
Right.
I'm like, even if you've known that this thing is due for 2 weeks, but you didn't understand the instructions, or you were unclear about what the teacher was telling you to do, but you knew it was due by this date and you still didn't do it, that is your fault for not going to the teacher and saying, hey, I need clarification. And yes, I know she's only 9 years old, but you can't, if you're having issues, you can't start blaming other people. Everything that happens in your life, if there's any control, you have control
over a lot of things.
I shouldn't say anything, but
Right.
when you take a step back to look at your life, look at what does your body look like right now? What does your health look like? Where do you live? What friends do you keep? What job do you have? All of those things came about through your choices. Choices that you have control over, for the most part. I won't say 100%, but for the most part, you have some sort of control. And so I basically, and of course, at this point, she's crying. And so the first part of that, for me was telling her that, you can't blame other people for mistakes that you had control over. Like, you could have done this. You could have made it better for yourself. I said, you made a mistake. I said, but the other part of that is, I said, this mistake isn't going to matter in a week, a month,
it's not gonna
a
make
year.
A difference.
So, trying to put it in perspective a little bit, because she was really upset. And I mean, the bus is coming and she's crying, and, I'm like, I'm not mad at you.
Wipe those tears away.
Right.
Bus driver doesn't need to see you get upset.
Hey, the kids get on the bus crying all the time. So she's a good kid, but, teachable moment right there. And I don't even know how I got off on this tangent, but something you said made me think of that.
Ownership.
Yeah. Yes.
Just owning it, yeah.
You got to own it. You have to own it. You have to start, I think, by owning it. And so when it comes to your health, if you feel like you're one of those people who's constantly, well, I gained all this weight because, and it's all of these other reasons that you feel are outside of your control. I don't have time to work out. I don't have enough money to buy healthy food. You're blaming.
You don't necessarily need to buy healthy food. You just got to make smarter choices. I mean, within, okay, let's say, I'm not going to tell you to go eat a pack of donuts, right?
Right.
But you just have to control how much if you want donuts.
But a lot of people, they blame like the money. Oh, healthy food is expensive.
It is more expensive.
No, see, that's
Well, it is more.
It's bullshit.
Well, it depends on what you buy. I mean, if you're buying the organic stuff,
Right.
that stuff's like
So
stupid
people are right.
Like organic strawberries compared to regular ones are like $3 more.
Well, yeah, I know that.
I'm not paying for those $3 extra.
Well,
Just because you know how many strawberries my kid goes through.
maybe you should start reading though about the pesticide load on strawberries.
I don't doubt it's really bad, but
The strawberries are on the dirty dozen every year because they consistently carry high load of pesticide residue. But anyway, I don't want to get off into that tangent.
I'm not going to buy strawberries.
Well, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, but
I'll
no.
just tell Kelly to get a strawberry patch and I'll go pick them.
Pesticide loaded strawberries might be better than, like the Big Mac at McDonald's,
Yeah.
like it's all relative, right?
It's relative to your situation.
My point about the cost. Okay, so that's people when I tell somebody to eat healthy and they are having like a budget issue or a money thing and that's what they're using as their excuse, they're typically thinking along those lines of, well, she's telling me to eat organic or, we're talking about one far end of that spectrum.
But grass-fed beef is expensive.
Yes. Oh, it is. Right. So that's not where you start. When you start eating healthy, if you take a family of 4 to McDonald's, how much you think you're going to spend?
Oh, it's like $30.
You're going to spend $35 to $40 at McDonald's to feed a family of 4.
That's only one meal.
Yes. You can go to Giant Eagle or Walmart and get one of those. Be quiet.
Aldi's.
Whatever.
Aldi's way better.
You
It's
can
cheaper.
go. You can go to one of these stores. You can get one of those those whole roasted
Yep.
chickens.
Get
You can
'em
get
all.
a bag of rice,
Yep.
and you can feed a family of 4 for like what, 10 or 15 bucks?
Probably $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cheap.
So, and yeah, is it perfect? Is the rice organic and is the chicken free range? Probably not. But is it going to be better than stuffing your face with McDonald's? Yeah.
Unless they have a spirit toy that my kid wants, I'm definitely getting that.
And
He
keeps
does
your
have
kid
one.
busy at the place
He
for
does
an
have
hour.
one. He's playing with it the other day. He's like, Spirit, I got it. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, bud.
But yeah, so again, kind of going through all of those excuses that you make. And like we talked in one of our other podcasts that we just recorded about how you don't really, that now that you're working farther away, you're not going to want to go to the gym after work because it's too much of a drive. You wind up driving for a half hour to get to the gym. You spend an hour or 2 at the gym, and then, you're not home, and it's almost time for your kids to go to bed. And
it's not worth it.
Right. So most people in that situation, because humans tend to think in all or nothing terms, are just going to say, well, this is over. I'm not going to work out anymore. You, on the other hand, are saying, okay, I can't get to the gym and my workouts might not be as long anymore and I might not be able to lift as heavy, right? Because I'm not at the gym.
Or I don't even have the equipment, yeah.
Right. But I'm going to start sort of building a little gym at home and my workouts, are going to be shorter. I might not be lifting as heavy, but I'm still going to do something. So you are making it work for your lifestyle versus coming up with some reason that you can't do it.
Right, yeah. I think that's the biggest thing.
It is.
Yeah, everybody has excuses why they can't get stuff done. I mean,
right.
You have what? You sleep for what? 6 hours to 6 to 8 hours a day. You got 16 hours. You're only working for 8 of those. You got 8 hours. What are you doing with those 8 hours or whatever?
Right. And what I challenge people to do, there are apps and the people I've asked to do this, I haven't asked too many, but the clients that I've asked to do this, they all usually refuse to do it. But you can download an app that measures or that tracks how much time you spend, like on your phone checking email.
Oh, it does it automatically. You know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't know. I just got
you
a
have
phone.
an Android, so I don't know if it's
how.
on there.
I'm sure it does. I mean, this is like the brand new.
Yeah,
S10.
mine has like screen time. So every Sunday, it's like, oh, your screen time was down 3% this week or whatever. Whatever
Oh,
the number
really?
is. Yeah, mine's probably way higher now.
Yeah.
Because I'm on eBay and trying to sell
Right.
shit. But
But track the time that you spend scrolling social media or watching TV or, doing any of those things.
I don't do much social media. My
No?
wife is horrendous at that.
I do, but it's because it's business related.
Well, it's different. I mean,
I told Mark the other day, I said, if I wasn't running a business that I relied so heavily on social media for, I think I would get off of social media entirely.
yeah. You can't though. Especially with your business. You just can't.
No.
It's too, Gary Vee talks about it. He's like, Facebook, Twitter,
Yep.
Instagram, it's so powerful. And the ads you can run on there are so cheap.
Yep.
So,
I mean, you have to. LinkedIn is another one. You have to be on. If you're trying to run a business where you're selling stuff or you're service based, you have to be on these social media channels. You just have to be.
and I'm same with you. I'm not really into social media stuff, but I'm figuring it out.
I find that
I just don't like it. I never did. It's not MySpace. That's the problem.
What?
MySpace?
I was never on MySpace.
I know. It's like pre-Facebook.
I know.
It's super awesome though. You could change your columns and I don't know. I have a bunch.
I never did the MySpace thing, so I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I think I had it for like a second. I think me and my buddy made me green or whatever. Like you can photo edit and you make yourself green like the whole.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had fun with it, but.
I mean, I do. There are certain things I like about the social media thing, but then there's other things where, like I said, I do find that I'm constantly checking my phone. Like it's just a habit at this point.
You need to
constantly
get a smartwatch. Put that thing on your wrist, and then you don't have to check your phone unless it
needs
buzzes.
No. Oh no, that's even worse.
Yeah, it buzzes. And then, I got
No, I hate that.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so, like, I'm not going to name any names here.
Yes, she is.
No, I'm not. But.
Ted.
I work. What?
Just make up a name.
Okay, yeah, Ted. Ted. So, I mean, I work around a lot of people. I network with a lot of people, but got that watch. And
Apple Watch?
Yes, the Apple Watch or whatever it is. And, constantly looking at the watch. You're in a meeting or you're trying to have lunch with somebody or you're trying to eat dinner with somebody and it's like every 5 seconds and I'm like, am I not interesting? Am I not interesting enough to hold your attention?
I have it to where I actually have to click on it, so I can't like go like turn your wrist.
Yeah.
So actually, so if I'm not in my meeting, say I'm in my meeting with my boss or whatever, I was like, oh, okay, Johanna called, whatever.
Right.
Just so I remember, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
It depends. I mean, if it's a phone call from my wife, I'm taking it. But, if it's text messages or like you're driving.
Yeah.
But it really just kind of depends. I think it's situational, but.
I personally feel like I'm checking my phone and my social media accounts way too often. And there's science behind the fact that your brain gets a little dopamine hit every time you get a new email, even if it's junk email, or every time you post something on Facebook or Instagram and, you get like the likes.
I don't know if I get that, man. I feel like I'm just chill all the time.
But you're on Facebook?
Yeah.
But you're not posting regularly or anything.
No, not on my Facebook. I have, since I've been doing the flipping, I've been posting a bunch of shit all the time.
Okay.
You know why? Because I'm trying to get that stuff sold.
Well, I know, but then you're checking it a lot, right? Because you want to see if somebody...
Don't care.
What?
Don't care.
What do you mean?
I don't care if they liked it or not.
How do they buy it?
So it would be like, let's just say, put something online. It has one view. And then I'm just going to share it on Twitter or whatever. And then if my viewership goes up on that item, then I know it's working somehow.
But you're checking the viewership.
On eBay, yeah.
Okay.
Periodically, not like all day long.
Well,
all right, let's check it.
It could get to the point, though, like where you're just constantly,
Or I'll get like a bid. I'm like, all right.
Yes.
Those suckers got that. I paid $1.
There's a dopamine hit right there.
It's called sales.
It's a money.
It's called money.
So anyway,
Exactly.
I think we got way off the
No, we're
tangent.
not. We're talking about goals.
Goals.
Talking about how you hit them. We're talking about this Ted guy who looks at his phone too much. But yeah, I mean, if that's a goal is to not look at your phone and maybe spend the time in the know, you got to figure out how you got to do that.
I just feel, well, yeah, and I think that's simple. I think you need to set boundaries.
You can also just turn on do not disturb mode. From like 6 to 9, I have it on. After those points, it's off. I don't get any notifications, nothing.
And so here's the funny thing: like everybody has an excuse for that too. So what do you think the excuse is when I tell somebody to put their phone on airplane mode so that they can eat lunch without staring at a screen, or like I tell people to eat undistracted, and you wouldn't believe how much people struggle.
Really?
With this, because everybody eats in front of the TV or scrolling Facebook or while they're working.
Yeah, that's true.
So you would not believe, people are like, well, what am I going to do? I'm like, you're going to fucking eat. You claim you're overeating all the time and you claim like you love food so much.
I think it's just because we just have,
so give the food your damn attention.
With this,
give your husband your damn attention.
This is just, there's too much, this is replacing the TV, basically.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what a guy said. He's like, that's replacing the TV.
Yep.
And then something is replacing the radio. TV's going to replace the radio.
TV's going to replace radio?
So this replaces the TV because you're watching it, and then TV is going to be the new radio because you're going to be putting your pot. Like, I use the TV at home. We watch, like, cartoons and stuff sometimes. We use it more for music than we use it for cartoons.
Yeah. I would agree with that too.
Like Alexa, we use that for Spotify.
Yep.
We don't really use it.
Yep.
Well, that's really all Alexa's for, anyways.
Right. But
I don't order anything on her.
If you want to set a goal
she talks back to me.
They're always listening.
Yeah, I know, right?
But no, if that's a great goal to set. If you feel like you're spending too much time on social media, is setting those boundaries. Like, hey, when I'm sitting down to dinner with my family, I'm going to put my phone on airplane mode. But the typical response I get to something like that is, well, what if my grandmother died, or like what if somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Well, her grandma's dead. She ain't going nowhere.
Well,
she's dead. So.
And I do admit that during the day while my daughter's at school, like if I worry about the school calling me and not being able to reach me. So, putting on my phone on airplane mode. But then I think to myself, you know what? If I need an hour to do something and the school calls me and I'm not available, they will either call my husband or they will wait and they will try me again.
Do you have a house line?
No, I do not have a landline. We got rid of it. So they will try again, right? So if I need an hour to do whatever it may be, if it's a workout or if I'm in a meeting with somebody and the school were to call, most of these things that we think are going to be urgent are still things that can wait.
Right. Yeah.
They can wait 15 minutes. They can wait a half hour. They can wait an hour. The world is not going to crumble. Chances are good that if your kid is sick at school, they're just going to keep them in the nurse's office until you can get there or until they can reach you.
Yeah, or you just call grandma and grandpa. Because I actually had my grandparents pick me up one time.
Right.
Because I threw up all over the place.
Oh.
School was amazing.
Lovely.
Well, yeah, because you're trying to be cool. You're trying not to, like, know you're going to throw up. And you're, like, walking to the bathroom. Right. And that ain't happening.
I was like, I never threw up at school, I don't think.
Oh,
it's not that I can remember.
One time. So you're like walking, and then you put your hand over your mouth, and then you're like, oh, it's coming out of my mouth. It's bad. One guy was like, you couldn't even make it to the bathroom? I'm like, no. It's in the hallway. I'm like, bro, you got to be cool in high school. You can't be running to the bathroom.
Right. All right. So anyway, we're going to, on that note, I think you kind of told us your goals for this year.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Her goal is to not smack the mic.
Right.
Failed already.
I haven't my goals for this year. Like I said, I'm not the type of person who tends to set real strict goals. But my goal is at this point to just get this new business up and running.
That's a big goal, though.
Hot Bods. It is a big goal, and it's
gonna take some time.
Yeah. We need to find a space.
Well, I mean, it's not like you don't. The hardest thing is just find the space because you already have everything else.
Yes, We have everything else, and depending on the space that we need to find or that we end up in, there's not a whole lot of setup.
Oh, that's good.
So
Are they letting you keep this stuff here until you move over there?
yes.
Maybe? That's awesome.
Yes.
That's good.
Which is very good because, yeah, like I said, I'd rather not cart the saunas back home and all that
back
stuff.
out here again.
So,
That's stupid.
yeah, so my big goal is to get this business up and running, and then after that,
Make $1 million.
yes, to break that down.
Take
by
over the
month
world.
with saunas.
Why not? If you get this first one like up and running really good, your goal should be to open another one.
Yeah, no, like a franchise, you mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Or just open them all and take all the money.
it could be. Right.
Why would you want to franchise it?
Oh, well.
I would want all the money.
What?
I would want all the money. My idea, my money. You can work for me,
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
I
mine.
guess so. I guess so.
But I think if you franchise it, anyways, I think you still get royalties or something.
Well,
so.
yeah, I would get royalties, and then I wouldn't have to be the one responsible for
You
actually.
know what? You should try to, if you get this up and running, you should literally try to sell this to, what gym is it? Oh my gosh. What's the one that just opened up down here?
I don't know. Planet Fitness?
Orange Theory.
Oh, Orange Theory.
You should try to sell that to them.
What do you mean? Like the concept or?
Yes. You know why?
Why?
You said this technology is from where? California. It's newer.
Yeah.
Hipper.
Yep.
First one in Medina.
Yep.
Already on the East Coast, let's say. Once you get it up and running, sell it to Orange Theory. Have them do whatever they need to do to where you can get some royalties or whatever. But you sell it to them, they're probably the ones that are going to bite on that because that's new. Orange Theory is new. It's
Right.
still hip. And then you just put one. What if you put 1 or 2 saunas in every studio? Imagine how much money that's going to bring you in.
Right. I think I'll just do this myself.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
You help me out.
Just ask what your Sam or you're not entitled to growth guy, whatever his name is.
That's Sam's on Fire, Livingston.
Yeah, Sam's on Fire, Livingston. Yeah, ask him. That'd be good. All right, so end of podcast. We're rambling, but that's fine. You will deal with it because you got nothing else better to do because you're sitting on your couch or listening to the car ride.
Hey, they are continuing their education by listening to this.
Yeah, I know. I will be interested to see how many are listening.
Some motivation, baby.
Considering it's been like 4 months.
Stop making excuses.
Yes. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. If you have any questions, you always know where to find us.
Bye.
Hey, everyone. This is TJ and
Kelly.
with the Initiative Project Podcast. If you like what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions you'd like us to cover, please email us at initiativepodcast@gmail.com. See you next time.